Hey guys, welcome back to another Sauceros podcast. This is episode 12. We got a few special guests here. We got Fernando and Teja. We had Teja on one time, but we had some issues with the video. We'll have another episode with her soon. But we wanted to highlight Fernando, get him on because he's. I want this to be more of like a conversation with the boys, but also it'd be.
But he brought his girl, so yeah,
So
we didn't expect that.
We gotta put some safeguards in place just in case.
Yeah,
And
So just
you know,
close her ears.
yeah.
Cover her ears.
We gotta start lying about some details, but it's okay.
and we just want to go into Fernando. He's been in the dancing for how long, bro?
A little bit over 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so we met through Que Candela, the dance company. I've known Fernando for over a year now, I think. And he's a really good dancer, so we want to get to know him a little bit more. Get to talk about his experience, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys. So, can you give a little intro about yourself, Fernando? Things you want to mention?
Well, yeah, I've been in the dance community for a good 2 years. Officially last month was 2 years. And I went straight into training. I was never into the social scene until I started training because I didn't even know how to social dance, to be honest. That's the only way I gained the confidence to even go out there and socially dance. Even now, it's now that I know how to quote unquote dance, sometimes I just I don't even want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been in the social and training community, salsa community for a good 2 years. Started at the studio, Roomba studio. Started with Lawrence. That's where I started training for the most part, and then kind of went into the whole QC family after that. So that's where I learned the ropes pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Did you can you say a little bit about yourself too, Tasia?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm I'm Teja. I found QC a little more recently, but I've been dancing for a lot longer. I kind of just discovered salsa, I think, about a year ago with the ASU Salsa Club.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, just over time, I got more exposure to it through socials. And then eventually I found QC and I started performing with them. And yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So, so we'll go into. You said you started learning with QC. You said you started with Lawrence, then you move on with QC. Can I ask why you picked QC? I think that'll be a good conversation.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Well,
because you had the option to do both, right? To do either
right.
one.
Well, the way I even got into dancing was just watching videos. I was it was fresh out of COVID, so I needed to kind of find an outlet to get out there and make friends and meet people and just do something creative. And I literally just looked it up on Facebook, salsa classes, and the first thing that came up was Lawrence's classes, because he's always posting something every other day.
You gotta write that down.
And,
You gotta post every day.
I think he posts every day, pretty much, or every other day. But yeah, he does. He posts a lot. But I found him first through the Roomba Studios, and then I forgot how I found out about Ed's bachata class, because the first class I went to with his was the Wednesday classes. Yeah, somebody told me about it, and I went to his bachata classes, and he was doing partner work and shines. Lawrence would do shines and partner work, but I really wanted to train because the classes that they were doing just didn't feel like it was enough. I just wasn't really picking things up. So I was like, okay, let me join a team. Let me join Lawrence's team. Unfortunately, though, he was only doing shines. It was more of a shines team, which is cool. It's fun. It was still fun. I still learned a lot. But I want to learn how to do partner work so I could go socially dance, because I think that was the main thing I was wanting to do at the time. But he wasn't during that training season. We didn't do any partner work. So I talked to Ed, and he told me, yeah, we do partner work, shines, we do all the 9 yards, but only bachata at the time. And that was the first season. He was only doing bachata the first season. He actually did have a mambo team, but he didn't really tell people that much about it. it wasn't until I think third season of QC that more people started doing the mambo classes, and that's when I completely went into QC. Like I was done. I was done with Lawrence's team pretty much and strictly QC, and did bachata and mambo for that second season with him, and it was a lot, but I think that was like very much the pivoting point where I gained more of my confidence for just partner work and social dancing and just actually being able to enjoy and feeling like a dancer. Because the first 6 months, dude, I was like, what am I doing, dude? Like that whole first season was very, very weird. It was just still struggling to do a box step, type of deal. Partner work was always rough. Partner work was probably always the hardest thing to do. Uh, but yeah, after doing doing bachata and mambo at the same time, that one kind of uh, just builds you up. Cut from a different cloth, pretty much. You kind of.
Have you always preferred training over like social dancing, or which one do you prefer more?
Well, training I do it sober, so so training I do it soberly, so
That goes for all of us.
social dancing, social for me is have fun, have a good time, go out,
Right.
hang out with friends, and have a drink.
Or 10.
Talk to a lady, but social for me is always it was always like to go have fun, hang out with friends, etc. Training though, for me it was necessary because I just never been the type to be like the party boy type of deal. So it's like I need to get my basics somewhere. I'm not gonna get it pre-gaming at a social party, So like I need to get it somewhere. So that's where training came in. But I did fall in love with like the whole training process. Sometimes it was a lot. How come we were talking before this? It's a lot with schedule wise.
Do you think that's the hardest part of training? The fact that like it takes up so much time, or is the training itself like?
For me right now, I think the hardest part has always been the schedule. So yes, the time, not a matter of hours, but a matter of when it's done and what days of the week, because you really have to kind of give up a part of your own personal life to go do that stuff. Sometimes you train till freaking 11 at night on a Sunday or something, and it's like, okay, well, how long do you really want to do that for? So that's probably been the hardest part about training, the schedule wise. But I do enjoy training, man. It's just a necessity for me at this point. Yeah. I think I'd rather train. If I had to choose between training and social dancing, I'd probably go with training. Right now, where I'm at, yeah, right now.
What's that?
Just social dancing gets a flop sometimes, man. Sometimes it's a flop. It's just sometimes you have expectations like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go have fun, blah blah blah, and it's nothing but not fun. Yeah, it's disappointment. But training, I feel I never regret going to a training session, no matter how late we go or how much I felt like I didn't do that great. I always get something out of it. Yeah, I always get something out of it. And you still get to see your friends and stuff because we're on the same team, right? So you still get to see your homies, your friends, and kind of community wise. So it's always it's more consistent. More consistent for sure.
And like structured too. Right?
Structured, yeah. I like the structure of it, yeah.
Like you'll go in and put in some time and you'll get X amount of like whatever.
Yeah. Even if you feel like you got. Are we allowed to like curse and all that?
Yeah.
All right. Even if you feel like you got your ass handed to you, like, oh, I sucked those whole 2 hours. I sucked, but like, okay, I kind of cleaned up my inside turn or some move, right? Like, okay, this part clicked finally after 2 months of trying to get this pattern down or something, right?
Yeah.
So that part it's the satisfaction. Yeah, it's very satisfying when you can do a whole choreo and not mess it up, or do certain moves that you've been training for months on end.
Can you go into, because I know, so we have, for people who like maybe not know, there's like social dancing classes, which is kind of like the most basic ones that you get before a social. Then there's like weekly classes that are open to the public usually, which is like you'll drop in kind of thing. And then there's the training with the team, which is more like bigger commitment, performance. So can you explain to you the difference between like, or at least the benefit you got compared to like training with the performance team compared to just doing the weekly classes? Because I know you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the main part of it is just the level of seriousness that you have to approach it with. If you're going to those hour classes before the social, it's a lot more. It should be like it shouldn't be as stressful, even though sometimes we do stress about it. It's like, what am I doing? What's going on? But it should be more casual. It shouldn't be something you're stressing over. You should again, it's something that you should just be going into with an open mind of like, oh, let's just have some fun and hopefully I could pick up a inside turn or even a basic, right? Uh, and then like the weekly classes they have, those are nice because sometimes you might not be able to commit fully to a team, but since they always have weekly classes, it's not as serious as being on a team, but it's still something you want to take seriously, especially if you're investing your time and money into it. Um, so that the social classes I think they're a lot more casual, which is fine. They should be that way. People can dip their toes into some type of dancing, bachata or salsa. And then the weekly classes that are offered at um, studios, those are nice if you can't completely dedicate yourself to a team. Uh, you can take it more seriously. It's good. It's still well structured because it's being taught by professionals. Uh, and then being on a team, training wise, that you have to take serious because now not only are you investing your time and money, but it's other people's time, right? Especially if you're on a team who does partner work and stuff like that requires a follow and a lead. If you're like a follow who misses a lot of practice on a team, you kind of I feel you kind of get looked at a little differently unless you're a complete beast and don't need to practice as much. Uh, if you're on a training team, you have to commit and you have to take it seriously because it's now not only your time and money, it's other people's time and money, right?
How long have you been doing like training with the team like now? You said you started from the beginning. You were like that, right?
Yeah, I think I went to maybe one social and took one class at Dave and Buster's and was and it wasn't enough. And then I went to maybe two weekly classes, like the weekly classes they have at studio. And then even then I told myself I'm not gonna get good like this, or at least I'm not gonna get to where I want to be. So I kind of just dove into the training side of things. And yeah, that did it for me. That and I needed that pressure. Um, Especially being on two teams, there was just you need that pressure, man. Sometimes you just need it. Yeah.
How long you been in dancing, Tasia?
Dancing in general?
Yeah, with the team.
With the team. With the team, just since February. This past February 2023. A few months.
6 months.
Yeah.
God. And how long? And how do you? What he said, right? Like, how does that affect you? Like your experience, like being on a team, and do you agree with it? Especially since I guess you would be considered like a beginner, even though you don't dance like a beginner, but like technically, like time wise, right?
Time wise, right. Well, it's different for sure because actually I've never been like on a studio team before. Before it was all just like in high school, there was like a dance class and there was like from beginners to like the company team at the high school. And so that's all I would do. Like I just took the classes in school. And then when I came out of that, I started just taking classes at ASU. So for me, it's always just been training and classes. But to be able to perform more with dance has been really rewarding, I feel like, because, well, for one, it's a completely different style. And two, before the way that we would perform is that we would have like in high school, we'd have a solid 2 weeks to learn one dance and then 2 weeks to learn another dance, but we'd be practicing every single day for a full hour. And so here we practice once a week for like 3. And so it's definitely different. It felt a little like, man, how am I gonna like remember the dance like at first? But eventually I just kind of got used to it and my body like adapted. And I actually really like it because right now I'm actually choreographing a musical for that high school I graduated from. And you can kind of see like, wow, the hours make a difference. Even if it's only once a week, it's like putting multiple hours into just this one, or maybe just these 3 8 counts, it's like it looks so much better than if you're trying to do like 4 different big dance numbers over the span of 3 months, but they only get to practice twice a week. So I definitely value the attention to detail that studio experience provides.
What do you guys feel about performing?
Me?
Oh, you fucking asshole. You set him up.
No, I mean,
Just
oh,
messing
like, what do
around.
I mean, no, it's dope. I think for me, I'm looking at it. Training is it's a different thing for me. I think social dancing, I'm kind of like on the opposite, where I'm just like I just love social dancing, and like I would social dance if every day if I could. Um, I think there's benefits to social dancing that maybe some people that train don't get sometimes. I think I needed both. Everybody needs both. I think everybody should social dance and everybody should train. Um, it wasn't. I would be social dancing, and I guess like connection wise, like I've always had like great connection with my follows. But in terms of structuring the dance and making it look clean, like I got that from training, like just format, like trying to really get the structure right, really get the movement, even like you said, like the right turns, the left turns, like all those things are fundamentals. Are like you don't get that from social dancing. I feel like.
Yeah, it's really hard to. You're in the moment. It's really difficult. There's no way. It's a hidden language that you gotta go study it through training, and yeah.
That's a really good way to describe it, actually.
No,
I was like,
it is.
that.
I mean, you don't even need to speak the same language to go salsa dance or bachata dance with somebody
Right.
from around the world. As long as you know basic stuff, you can
Yeah.
dance with whoever.
Yeah.
But you gotta learn all those basics, right? You gotta learn all
Definitely.
that stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool once it starts to click. You're like, oh.
You start
a whole different
saying
language,
it,
right?
Like
she
I
catching
got
my
moves.
drift. She knows what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys could see, like the professionals usually they have the same fundamentals. Like they all went through the fundamentals. So, yeah, that's the thing about training. Did you want to add a question there?
Talking about professional. You said you used to look at a lot of dance videos. Who do you like look to for inspiration, especially like professionals in the salsa or bachata scene, or who do you look up to? Because I'm sure you have one or two people that like.
Yeah. Really, for the first good year, it was really just the people in the community, like my teachers, such as Lawrence, who started me off, and then Ed, all the project teachers on QC, and then the more experienced, I guess, students that Lawrence had on his team. Those are the people I would see them dance, and I'd just be like, damn, if I could just do a fraction of what they can do, I feel like a G,
Yeah.
like a G. Like if I could just do that one little movie, what did you just do? Like what was that? Like if I could just do that one little move, I'd be happy. And it just you tell yourself that, and you're happy for a bit, and it don't stop.
We want more.
Stop, right? It don't stop. Somebody just one-ups you again. You're like, here we go again. But mainly the people in my community for like the first good year, and then after I traveled a bit with the team, you see all these crazy professionals dancing at congresses, and it's insane, dude. Like Adolfo, all these other Iroko teams, all of them. It's just crazy. I never knew people out there were dancing at this level. You thought the people in your community were the best, and then somebody comes in and does some crazy flips up there, and you're just like, what? How? How? Yeah. But that the first couple months, first year, I would say, people in my community, Lawrence, Ed, QC project teachers, and then just Lawrence's conclave, more experienced students. And then after you travel and you see all these other professional teams, you start following them on Instagram, and it just turns into this whole never-ending chase of if I could just do a couple moves those guys do, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned like looking up to like the other like higher advanced people, and it's so funny because I was thinking about it right now. I remember when I started going to the Wednesday classes, I would always look at you and how you would they take videos of you and you'd be like posting on Instagram. I was like, bro, if I could just like same thing, if I could just practice one hand, oh my god,
it's so weird because you'll get there and it just never stops. It never stops, bro.
I'll see myself like on the fucking QC page, like on the videos.
Yeah,
Like,
I see you too.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, I see you too. You just judge yourself so hard, right? But yeah, I've seen all you guys on social media doing some smooth thing, you know. It's like, oh, there you go, there's my boy. That's my boy, you know. Yeah, it just.
It's never enough.
It's never enough, bro. Yeah, I mean that's the addicting part about training and dancing. Just a good hobby, man. It takes over a little, but yeah, it's a good hobby to have.
Have you been able to balance that with like, because I know you mentioned like, you know, you have to put like certain boundaries. Like, how have you, from when you started to like now, how have you measured like how much you dedicate to like dance and how much you dedicate to just your personal life and what you do outside of dance?
Yeah, the first half of the first good year again, there's no balance. There was no balance, bro. There was absolute zero balance. I would be going to work all freaking half asleep, 4 hours of sleep type of deal, you know? Because you would want to go to practice and then go social dance right after, or social dance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes on the weekday while training. It's just those first 6 months, man, those first 6 to 12 months, you're just hungry. Yeah. Especially for me, it always came from just not wanting to embarrass myself out on the dance floor, which is inevitable. But once you embarrass yourself a couple times, you're like, never again. You just well, you know, never again. You're like, you're at a social or something, you do some just completely bomb at the dance, especially when you're learning, and you know, you go to the restroom, you're like, you look yourself in the mirror. It's like time to go home, buddy. But yeah, the first 6 to we've all been there. I mean, unless you're a
multiple
follow,
times.
I think if you're a follow, it's probably not as apparent.
Yeah.
That is so not true.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Okay, because like when I was first starting, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I was having like so much fun, you know? And so then when I started like doing training and everyone was like, bro, what is your connection? I'd be like, wait, what? And then the more you learn, you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing, like in a bad way. And then like I would go out social dancing and then I would have a bad dance and I'd be like, oh my gosh, where was my connection? What was I doing? How did I miss that turn? You know, don't even.
I still strongly feel that it's two different worlds for if you're a follow and lead. Yeah. That's why it's good to make friends, though. That's why it's good to make friends. It takes a lot of pressure out of it. It's still, if you're a beginner, it's still intimidating, dude. Like if you don't know how, if you don't know how to dance, and then let's say you're a little quiet on the quiet side, and you want to go ask some girl to dance, you're like, let me go take a shot or two. Let me come back to it. Let me go practice my basic in the corner for it.
I know, in the restroom.
In the restroom.
Oh my god, that was so bad. I'm cringing. I'm getting like PTSD now.
Bro, I'm sure everybody's gone through here. Like,
it took me a couple months before I like learned my lesson. Like, I really need to take classes.
Yeah, because that's why you take it.
Yeah, right? And like it goes back to you really don't get rejected as a lead unless like. Rarely do you get rejected, and then I realized I would ask, and then I realized, what do I do now?
You look like Will, you don't get rejected.
Yeah, that's true. No.
If you look like Will, you don't get rejected.
No, I would tell these follows like, I kind of wish you said no. Like, why would you say yes to me?
You
like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, especially if it's a salsa song, it's like 20 minutes long.
Oh my god,
dude. Yeah, I'm cringing right now. Like, what would you do as a fresh lead for the next?
There's no easy way around it, man. There's no. You gotta hold on, buddy.
It's just survival mode, dude.
It's survival mode. You just
I just hated it, and I actually hated social dancing for a while until I took classes for a couple months, and then got back out social dancing because of Jose, and then I started like enjoying it. Yeah, but I know like the more, like you said, like the more time you put into practice, or like it doesn't even have to be like in class. I think it's a good base, because now I'll just practice by myself or like outside the studio too, and I feel like the time you practice outside of social dancing is when it matters. Because you said when you go out social dancing, you just want to have fun. And I know like I resort to like the term patterns I know. I'm not trying to do anything new anyways, because then it feels kind of choreographed and you're not really vibing to the music. Instead of, every time I've asked a follow, like, hey, can I try a new move on you? And like they got all scared.
You ask, bro?
Yeah. You just do it?
I'm either gonna bomb or I'm gonna pull it off. I'm either never dancing with you again or.
The one and done.
It's not. I mean, if it's like a really more of like dangerous move, I guess you could say, it doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah. Actually, that's very. What's the word?
Thoughtful?
Thoughtful of you, Will. Thoughtful of you, man.
Kind of ruins the mood though, but Hey, can I try this move on you?
Can I try this cool move I learned twice?
I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Once on the dance floor, once in my head.
Because
literally.
For real.
No, when you're first starting, man, it's rough. It's really rough.
What was some of your struggles?
I think
Biggest struggles.
I think just getting over myself, man. Just getting over myself in the sense that no one cares that you're a beginner. Really, no one freaking cares. Maybe follows, dude. But
some of the more experienced follows.
Some of the more experienced don't. Maybe don't.
Maybe don't ask them.
Maybe don't ask them as much. But getting over myself in the sense that I'm being judged the whole time. You're always gonna be judged, dude. Just get over it, right? Yeah. But one thing that one of the conclave more experienced students taught me or told me or tried to get into my head is like, dude, you're not the only beginner out there at the socials. There's plenty of beginners on the same level as you. Just go practice your basic at least. And even then, it's like, yeah, you're right, but I'm still like, you know. So I'm probably just getting over myself, and you're not alone in that path, even though it feels like it. Yeah, you're not alone in that little journey. There's plenty of follows who don't even know their basic yet, but they still want to learn, right? They still want to learn. So it's like, find those follows. That's probably I think that's probably the best advice I could give a beginner is take classes, learn your basics, and there's plenty of beginners like you out there in the world. So
applying it too, man.
Yeah, applying it. Yeah, you gotta be brave though. You gotta be brave, man. You know.
And I think that's like a skill in itself. Just like approaching someone and then getting rejected, or just like giving them a bad dance. Like that's all a part of the process. Like
yeah, you're gonna get rejected. You're gonna get rejected unless you're Will. But unless you're Will, you're gonna get rejected. I mean, don't take it.
This is gonna be bad because like people are gonna expect I'm super good. I'm like still a beginner too.
Y'all should ask Will to dance.
I'll say yes, but
skip everybody else.
Everything else after that, I can't guarantee you if the dance is good or not.
It's all up to my basic.
yeah, for real.
But yeah, just be There's plenty of beginners, man. It's okay. Who cares if you get rejected? I've been rejected by whole rows of ladies, dude. So you know what? Like, you know what? Let me go use the restroom. Yeah. Let me go get some liquid courage in me, and then like you just come back, and there's always gonna be a follower who wants to dance. It's always gonna be a follower who wants to dance. You see them. They're like on the sidelines, like doing their basic, trying to peacock you into it.
That's the best.
Yeah, you're
just gravitating towards them.
like,
you start dancing towards each other from the dance floor.
You start doing your basic towards them.
That's
Don't be creepy, but you know,
she's like, dancing away from you, and you just keep inching towards her.
She went to the restroom. I'll get her when she goes.
Yeah,
don't be creepy, man. You know, it's just being casual. Like, hey, everybody's there to dance, so it's hey,
no, she's just shocked by how good you are. That's why she ran into the restroom.
No, this guy's too good for me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you're gonna get rejected all the time, man. Sometimes, you know, follows just don't feel like dancing. It's very rare that I think follows reject you because they just don't like.
The only time is like the ratio is really bad at socials where there's barely any follows, and those follows have been dancing their asses off. Then it's just like some nights are like you said, a flop. But yeah, if there's a lot of falls, almost always like you'll find a dance. Maybe not the one you want, but like you should be dancing with everybody. We talked about this last episode or a couple episodes.
You should be trying to dance.
Yeah, if you take it seriously, then you just need a a body to dance with.
It makes him.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Cut that out.
I just need to get my rocks on.
Just my dance rocks. I just need you to do the basic. Like, you don't exist.
Yeah. Let me just do my thing.
Oh my
Just a
God.
means to an end.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of people to ask. And
yeah.
it's
Even
scary.
guys, some guys like to follow, dude. Yeah, some guys,
I follow.
yeah, some guys like to follow. I've tried it a couple of times. Maybe not for me yet. Maybe not for me right now, but even guys, they want to like, oh yeah, dude, I'll practice. Let me practice my follow with you, dude. Yeah. Let me
It
practice.
is so much more relaxing. Like,
Oh, dude,
oh my
all the
God.
weight comes off your shoulders. You're like, oh,
Dance
that's
looks completely different. I'm like, oh my God, this is the first time I've ever been happy. Like in a dance. Like
you're
I gotta think like 10 steps ahead. I'm
you're
like,
actually on time.
yeah, I'm already neurotic, so I'm like, oh, like what move should I do like after this inside turn, and then start thinking about like, oh, did I put on deodorant? Did I pay my bills?
Oh my
Like,
God, dude.
oh my God, you just start thinking all the
Yeah.
time. I hate it as a lead sometimes.
Yeah,
Like you
it's-
just gotta like follow and
It's stuck in
mirror.
your head, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the liquid courage sometimes helps.
I guess.
So it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes
Yeah,
You just need a little bit. Too much, and then you
You
start
start
forgetting
relying
your
on it,
turn
you
better.
gotta find the sweet spot, man.
yeah, or you just get off beat,
Get
and
off
then
beat. And then the
just get
follow gives you
sloppy.
like, what are you doing, guy? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the best though, because I would always, even now, I'd tell people that I'm a beginner. But I think because I go out so often, people are like, if they know me or they see me, like, no, you're not. I just saw you dance. You're a liar. Well, before it was like, damn, you really are a beginner, but it's okay. Like, we'll just do like, the bachata basic. And now it's kind of nice. Like, that's how I gauge like where I'm at, like with my dancing, where it goes from like, oh, like it's cool that we could practice to like, oh, you're not a beginner. Because I always measure up to other people in the team or like the directors, and it's like it's unfair to do so, but I think we're all guilty of that.
Oh
you know?
yeah, we're super guilty. I think that's
Yeah.
why most people even want to get better.
Yeah, it's like a fine line of like giving yourself that pressure, because when you have that pressure, if you can manage your stress, you can really progress more quickly than if you just casually just took like a social class instead of a structured one,
There's some social killers out there though, like they just been dancing their whole lives.
Yeah, and like they have no
unless-
formal training.
Yeah, unless you've been dancing since you were able to
kid.
walk.
Yeah.
There's good luck. But there's some guys and follows too that they've been dancing their whole lives. It's just natural to them. All they really need is maybe like a crash course on timing. And, oh yeah, cool, they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of training though. Like depending on how long you want to train for or what your goals are, I think especially as a fresh beginner, just taking even a couple months joining a team, that gives you so much like fundamentals of just on something to work off of, because
Right.
you said you didn't even dance before.
No, man, it's just two
Yeah.
left feet, bro. I was the first bachata class. I wanted to get out there so much. I just wanted to leave midway because
Yeah.
I was just struggling with my box step, bro. Like
Yeah.
I was fresh out of work, freaking boots, and
That was me.
freaking polo.
Still is.
Yeah, that still is. What the hell?
I was
That's
tired,
true.
bro. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, my first class is just, and QC they always showing out, freaking doing flips and all that. I'm like, basic, just do your basic in the back, dude. Just go to the back.
Oh my god. But when they ask you to freestyle, I'm just like, bro,
Ain't no freestyle.
Ain't no freestyle, man.
Not right now.
Yeah, no.
There's barely a basic right now.
That's how I felt with Mambo. It was so scary. Every single class, every Thursday, I just wanted to like just quit.
You can't though. You gotta ignore that feeling sometimes. You gotta ignore it.
It was so hard. Salsa, even now, like just trying to catch the timing, but yeah, like those 3 months for off season, I struggled so bad, and
It's rough, dude.
yeah, and like
It's
I
rough.
know that like when you're getting noticed, like the directors are like giving you your feedback, but I just felt like I was drowning every day, dude. Like if it was like everyone's going on 1, 2, 3, I was like 5, 6, 7, or I was just always off, and my follow would be off, and like I just had this, I don't know. I just felt like I was just dragging them down. Like every single rotation, I felt like I was just fucking it up with like everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy because you say that's how you feel when you absolutely know nothing.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, that feeling never really goes away so long as you're learning new moves.
Really?
As long as you're learning new moves, that feeling's always kind of be there.
Yeah.
But now you know how to handle it more. It's like you know what?
That's true.
You know what? I'll get it next time. You know, versus being when you're a beginner, you're just
I know.
I'm always
can't even fall asleep.
apologizing. Oh my God!
I'm not breathing.
Yeah, you're not breathing. You're not counting.
And you just be like, Will, stop.
You're not
Get
even
that
dancing.
nervous look off your face.
You're not
I'm
even
like,
dancing at
I
that
want to
point.
leave.
You're just in your head stuck.
For real.
But
now I have no shame. I'm like, I will screw it up with anyone.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's.
We're gonna rotate. I'll
see you later. I'll see you later.
See you in like 8 partners, and like I'll go mess it up again. But yeah. No, there's a lot of confidence as a lead just from dancing, especially if you're a non-dancer going to dancing.
If you're a non-dancer, if you're introverted, kind of, shy on the shy side.
Even confident guys, like they'd be nervous to dance.
Even the
because
confident
you'd
guys.
look like a fool. And now you just like, I'm sure all of us here would just ask for a dance, even if we screw up. It's like it wouldn't get to us.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember
Unless you screw up in front of a huge crowd, you're like, gotta get better.
Depends. If we're better than them, then it's just don't matter.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. You don't even know what I'm doing.
They don't even know how hard this is.
It's part of the show.
It's part of the show. Take it as a learning
experience. Yeah, you get like a huge confidence boost though, just asking someone and then being, perceived and judged by people. But now, like, because you dance so much, you're so deep in it that it's whatever. I mean, you don't want to mess up during performance, but you become numb to it at some point.
Yeah, I keep pushing. Man.
Yeah,
keep it
I feel like that's character building. No,
that's that.
Do you feel like there's a point where you're like, all right, I think I got this. Like, I don't even worry so much. Like, can you like describe a point?
Oh yeah, like starting out a point. Where did the confidence kick in?
Yeah.
Or like the plateau or the
new
breaking through it,
breakthrough. Yeah.
I think definitely after a performance. I think performing, as much as and I don't hate it, love-hate relationship, right? For me at least. But definitely after my first QC performance, it was more of a like, see, bro, you did it. Like, what were you scared of? I mean, you were nervous the whole time. Sure, you might not look the best, but you still did it. Why not? Why can't you just keep doing it? But the thing is, for me, it was more of as long as I trained and made sure I was doing what I needed to do, the performance was gonna happen regardless. The performing side of things keeps me accountable, keeps me accountable. It's like, there's no, dude, you can embarrass yourself at a social, you can embarrass yourself at a wiki class, even during training, but when you're performing, it is the worst thing ever to like mess up. Like that no matter how long you've been dancing, I feel like it's so hard to shake that feeling off.
Right.
Because
it's recorded and
it's recorded. People's families are there.
Yeah.
It's
you see all
rough.
the weird things you're doing?
It's
rough.
rough.
I think my second performance ever, I was just chewing so hard like a cow chewing on grass. Yeah. And I was counting too.
Yeah.
Out loud. My God. Yeah, I get it, but
definitely after that first performance, I was more confident in myself, and I just knew that, okay, the training's gonna save you. The hours are gonna show on stage. Everything's gonna be revealed on stage. Like, how hard have you been training? So definitely after training, it kind of proved to myself, like, okay, I could do it. As long as I train and practice and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I could do it.
What have been your guys' worst like performances, and also like the best performances you guys have had?
No, you go. I can't think of one right now. I gotta think about it.
Worst performances?
Or just things that you like, for sure you're like, fuck, I really messed up this one part.
Luckily, I haven't tragically messed up. I remember at San Francisco, we debuted our like bachata open level intermediate performance, and like I messed up pointing here and there. It still grows. It's still like there's like parts where I have to like point a direction. I didn't point or something, But nothing major. Like, I've never dropped Yeah, I've always
Always that different.
always kind of been I've always kind of been put on the spot. I was like, why am I here? Why am I here?
Didn't
I
they make
think-
you scream at one point?
Yeah, that's another part. I was gonna bring that one up, bro. Oh my god.
I remember that.
I was like, Ed, what are we doing, guy? I'm not you, bro. No, but yeah, there was supposed to be like a vocal moment at San Francisco, which I did, but it was just the music's so loud.
Yeah, you can't hear it,
You can't
bro.
unless you're like right there in front of the stage. You're not gonna hear it. So like as far as messing up, I've been very fortunate. Where's the wood, man? Like, this is wood. Like, knock on wood, I haven't messed up that bad. You know, I haven't messed up. I haven't messed up that much. You know, I haven't messed up like tragically. Small stuff like that, like maybe that move could have been crispier, etc. There was one moment, Burbank, where we were doing tech.
I fucked up on tech, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was my first time doing it, like performing on a big stage like that. And you know, like those freaking lights, bro, like brighter than this, all up in your face. It's like what is it? Deer in front of a headlights type of deal.
You can't even see
Oh my god,
anything.
you can't see anything, right? Yeah, it got me good. And there was one move where I was supposed to pretty much. Luckily, I had Beth. You guys know Beth; she's a beast. Luckily, I had Beth. I did it wrong, but not right. I did it wrong, but it wasn't. I didn't drop her at least. Yeah, I didn't drop her at least. Yeah, I didn't drop her at least. That was the thing. But I still messed it up, and it was very noticeable. I was like, okay, whatever, just keep going. But stuff like that. But performing wise, nothing crazy where I mess up. It's always like, I could have done better. It's always I could have done better. Yeah, I could have done better. I could have been more intentional here and there. I could have smiled. You know, I could have smiled or like had the intention that we practiced to do, or just gave it more sauce. Because you know, in your head, you're dancing up there. You're like, in your head, you're moving, bro. You're like, I'm going 1,000 miles per hour up here, and then you see the video. What the fuck was that? You're like, what was that?
The feeling is way different than watching the video.
Oh my god, yeah, you're like, what was
Yeah.
that, bro? Like, barely, you barely got that in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but nothing crazy, luckily.
Would have been the highlights though.
The highlights. I think Vegas. We just performed at Vegas like a couple months ago.
That was fun.
Like it wasn't amazing. It was an open level choreo, but like I rewatched the video a handful of times, and it might have, my personal opinion on my performance, it might have not been like the sauciest, you know, like all up in your face type of deal, but I don't think I messed up anything. Like I'm like 99% of the moves that we were supposed to do, I did them. So that's probably my highlight, just doing a clean choreo. Clean choreo, that was my highlight, just doing a clean choreo. Not all of us were on the same page. Me, it was clean.
I don't know about anybody else.
I you know, like I came down from it and like I saw a video, it's like, all right, yeah, okay, you know, not bad, dude. I'm good, you know, like pat myself on the back a little. But there was always that lingering feeling of, oh yeah, you could do better. You could do better. But it's nice when you have a clean performance. Yeah, it's really nice when you have a clean one because it just all the work you did kind of pays off, you know. Yeah.
Can you explain your love-hate relationship?
Love-hate, man.
What do you love?
Yeah. Well, this goes back to being like if you're kind of an introverted person, like I grew up super quiet, dude. I was the shy, quiet kid growing up in school. Like I didn't talk to anybody. I had friends, but like I was not extroverted at all. I still really am not, for the most part. I'd rather be with maybe a small group of people versus in front of big crowds. So performing wise, you know, you're performing for a crowd, sometimes a small one, sometimes hundreds, thousands, like SF, etc. So that love-hate relationship is, I love it because it holds you accountable and you always come out of it better, if not wanting to become better. And I hate it because it forces me to bring out a different person that I'm not used to, you know, or at least it's forcing me to form that person more and more. And that person is somebody who performs, you know, for people and like is smiling on stage and is having fun and giving all the sauce and like winking at somebody, doing some like what professionals do, right? They class act type of deal. And if you're not, and that I think that lingers more that is more on the side of an extroverted person, you know. So if me feeling very much more introverted my whole life, performing has always been like, oh, don't look at me. But then they put you right in the front or in the middle, and it's like, please don't look at me. Don't make eye contact. Oh yeah, don't make eye contact. We just look above their heads. Yeah, so it's that love-hate relationship that some people love it. Like Teja loves it. Like I would like I've asked her about it, so you should go ahead and actually tell them why you love it. Because some people love the attention,
Well, like after all the times you perform, like, do you think it's like made you because
it grows on you for sure.
Yeah, like do you feel? I mean, you still have your tendencies. Like if you're more introvert, like that's your nature. But do you feel like you've grown more because you've become so uncomfortable, like performing and all that?
Yeah, if you guys would have met me like before I even started dancing, we would not be cool with each other. Like be like, oh, that guy's. Yeah, he's quiet.
Damn.
Yeah, he's alright. Like, he's just quiet, just let him be,
Yeah, you're on a podcast now.
But yeah, like, you get on a podcast here and there. Yeah. But it definitely, it just changes you. You have to change, dude. Right. It kind of forces you to change, or else you're gonna suffer a lot. Yeah. You're gonna suffer a lot. It brought me out of my bubble a lot. Just being able to deal with that type of environment. And then it just makes you more comfortable with yourself. Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence. I still struggle performing wise, but it does change you I think for the better. I think no matter I think anybody who's gone through that process of training, practicing, and then performing wise, they'll all tell you like, yeah, it's made me better in some shape, way, or form. Even if it's even outside of like the dancing aspect of it. Yeah. Just personally wise, yeah.
Wait, hold on, Teja hasn't even said her shit, bro.
Yeah. This is like night and day here. Like she loves performing, bro. Like, she loves it.
I'm being silent because this is your moment.
But you're here.
I am here. But you're here. In terms of like favorite, least favorite of my performances, I can't lie. It's funny because it was the exact same choreo and it was the beginner mambo we did at QC for season 4. Like the one I disliked the most was when we did beginner mambo at the Colombian Festival, like the most recently, because I was just like, something about the area, I was just not in it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of people with their cameras on me right now. Just like their phones, like I can't even see their faces. And then the opposite is true for like Oasis performances. When we did like our first Oasis, even for both, because I was in open bachata at the time and beginner mambo, there's just like way more energy coming like in and out like between people because they're all just like looking at you like, hey, hey, and they're hyping you up, and it's just like I love that feeling. It feels great. Like, but versus like on a stage, this is something I found out recently about myself because I used to only perform where you couldn't see the audience at all. It was just like stage lights are on you, you're doing your thing, and you like barely can see anybody. But then like when you can actually see somebody and you can actually just like see their face like cheering you on, it feels really good. It's like, oh wow, I feel like I'm accomplishing something, like I'm doing something that's worth being seen for. But yeah, that's just how I feel in terms of like favorite, least favorite.
You used to do theater when you were in high school, right? Do you bring a lot of that like energy from theater into dance?
So much. I've been doing theater since I was 10. And when I first ever started dancing, one of the first things that my dance instructor told me was like you can tell you're a beginner, but like you bring so much like face to it, that like performative energy to it, that it feels like you're a higher level than you are, kind of thing. And like sometimes it's like fake it till you make it actually kind of works a little bit. But then eventually it's like that never satisfied me, being told that I looked good from a performative standpoint. Like I always felt like I need to train, I need to get better, because I'm super competitive. I am so competitive. So yeah.
She's lucky. She's
Wow,
lucky.
yeah,
She's lucky.
that is night and day.
She's night and day, right?
I needed a moment to take that in.
That's the thing, right? Like some people are extroverted, some people are introverted. Even just growing up extroverted gives you that slight edge, being on that scene. Because if you're introverted, you don't even like talking to people. Good luck asking somebody to dance, right? But you're extroverted, you're like, somebody come get me.
I know, you're like a crackhead here.
Like, you're like, please.
And then you can be by yourself.
Yeah, please, somebody just spin me, bro. Like,
That's
it's
funny.
like, oh my god, like I can't. It's just your brain's wired differently, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Some people are just that's the slight edge you get.
Yeah, but you got to get an edge from being introvert because you become much more observant of people and you notice a lot of things.
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of it's nonverbal communication.
Nonverbal communication.
So like we could because I feel like I'm introverted too, but yeah, now that you've done something extrovert to build up, not that weakness, but like that side of you that you don't really bring out, then you can kind of appreciate it, and then you do grow, but then you can still be introverted. Like
yeah.
there are times where I social dance and I just sit around and just watch people and be like, oh.
Yeah, and I enjoy that too. I just enjoy watching people dance too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think, in our defense, introverts, we have our own edge, I think. But yeah. Good for you, Teja.
Well, it's like wow. Okay,
That sounded sarcastic. I didn't mean.
Like
I
roasting
mean, like, good for you.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm glad you like performing. That's what I meant. I can't.
Some people love the attention, dude.
I know. Just like, what's wrong with them?
No, but they see us like that guy's weird.
No, that's not even true.
Why is
though.
he just in the corner?
No, but listen, because like it's like the opposite extrovert people. It's just like we're trying to do that peacock thing where it's like, oh, I want to like show off so that other people will like notice me. And then if you're like introverted, it's like, wow, I like never talked to that person. I wonder what they're thinking, you know?
Yeah, and then we just go home and never pursue it. I guess I'll never know.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home.
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I think that's why I like training so much too, though, because socially, you feel like you have to be out and about, you know. Training-wise, you just go under, do your thing. Sure, you do partner work here and there, but even then, you sometimes you don't even talk to your partner. Okay, high five, real tick, layers.
Yeah.
I don't even know your name.
You don't need to.
You don't need to, right?
Yeah.
I just think he's like in practice, he's just like, man, fuck all y'all. Like, I just want to get this shit done.
I'm just doing this turn pattern. Don't talk to me.
Doing it for myself.
Yeah. You're just here. This sounds so horrible right now.
Oh my goodness.
There's a contrast from last episode where we had like the falls on, like, what are your falls perspectives? And now it's just like, you're just here for the turn pattern. Like, I'm leading. Follow me. That's it. No, I get it. Yeah, when I joined the team and I saw that everyone's like had their own cliques, or everybody knew each other. They were saying hi, hugging each other. I would like start in the beginner circle and like ask for people's names, and I could not remember for months.
There's so many
I'd
names,
ask
bro.
people like 10, 12 times. Like, they'd be like, hey, Will. I'm like, hi. You? Like, I could not retain anyone's name.
Hey, you.
Like, yeah.
Hey, you. How you doing?
Yeah, that's probably me being self-centered too. And then introverts, I just compound on it.
that's
but
just.
I just try to like be outwardly going and just like remember and like acknowledge people.
The best thing you could do, man. It's so many names out there. Good luck. I'm not here to learn your name. I'm here to learn the basics.
I can barely learn the basics.
You ever see me walk in the studio like, where's the open seat, bro? Like, I need a spot to sit down, and then I'll go say hi to people if I really feel like it. Yeah.
But yeah, as an introvert, you go into class, it just gives you that I guess safe space of like you can just go and practice, and you can make friends if you want. I'm sure people eventually do, but if you just want to go train and just leave, like you can still have that human interaction where it's not as wild and chaotic as a social, because anything can happen at a social, and I'm starting to enjoy it because like I'm trying to look for something crazy at this point. Like, let's just dance with someone drunk who can't dance or whatever. Like, let's see where this dance goes.
Yeah.
You know? But no, it could be overbearing if you're fresh and you're new to the scene, you don't know anyone,
Oh, man.
and you're not extroverted. That's like a recipe for disaster. Like, why would you even go to social? That's like,
But that's how a lot of guys start. A lot of people start. I mean, that's how I started, dude. Like I went in there cold turkey. Like nothing. I knew nobody. Yeah. I knew the address. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the only good thing is like I guess you can just leave whenever you want.
True.
But yeah, it's just I feel like I wouldn't have stuck around if I didn't eventually take classes.
Right.
Because I needed that structure to give that confidence to myself that I can do this, I can get better, and then applying it, and then when you get like a compliment or feedback or whatever, it just like
feels good.
It feels good, and then it reinforces you to like I could pursue this as much as I want.
Right.
And you just keep developing yourself. I think that's the fun part of training too.
Because again, it doesn't just build you up dancing wise, it builds you up personally. Yeah, for sure. Personally. And like for me also, I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make friends and meet people, kind of get out of that introverted shell. Because just because you're introvert doesn't mean you like it. And just because you're extrovert doesn't mean like, damn, sometimes I should just chill out. It's a good way to learn things here and there,
Yeah. By sitting like away from everyone
like,
when you go to class.
Can you just self-reflect? I'm not attacking anybody. This is a general. I'm not hinting toward anything. But it's just you grow personally. Yeah, it's just a personal growth too. It's not just dancing, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I want to ask you because I know like we've had some conversations where you even mentioned like it kind of like dance kind of like even saved you for like in like a time. So can you go into that?
Yeah. So again, it saved me in the sense that I needed fresh out of COVID. This was fresh out of COVID. Actually, COVID was still going on because I remember a couple times like, we're canceling practice because COVID's kind of ramping up again. But it saved me in the sense of one, I needed to make friends. I needed a community. I needed something productive to do. I was getting fat. I was getting so much weight from COVID, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I was getting weight. I was like, dude, I need to go do something. So it's like it just saved me in so many different ways. And just making friends, it's healthy in some ways. It's a healthy outlet. It's creative, and it's just good. It's good people. It's been very rare that I've met a couple bad apples here and there, but they usually don't stick around that much. The good people are the ones who stick around a lot. Sure, it has its toxic traits here and there, toxic people here and there, but for the most part, it's a good community. It's a good community to be a part of. And then it's just networking. You meet so many different faces at different backgrounds, like help you out and not just dancing wise, but personal growth, or like there's a bunch of different people in different professions, right? So it's like networking wise. So it just takes over. It took over my life in a sense of kind of just revolved around it for a good while. And it still does, not as much as it used to. But it still does. So it did save me in that sense of being sheltered, kind of always going home, not really networking or making friends, especially coming out of COVID. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. So no regrets on pursuing it. It's been a good journey. It's still going. That's the thing. It's never ending. Yeah. It ends when you want it to end. Right. Yeah, it ends when you want it to end. Even then, it's like it might rope you back in somehow.
Yeah, you meet so many amazing people though that even if I ever left the dance scene, it's just like I've met so many wonderful people that I feel like I'd always keep in touch with, like for a really long time.
Yeah, you would hope you can keep in touch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the dance scene is so intimate though. It's just like I've never met a scene where I met so many people because, like you said, when being introverted, especially during COVID and like just starting from the bottom again, I felt like, there's just me in this world, but now it's just way too many people.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. Like I don't even know half the people who I talk to sometimes, and not trying to be mean, but it's just because you're introverted, you're used to such a small circle that now I literally have to like write down their name and like a description or something to like really remember like where did I meet this person from? Or like if I go to a congress, they're like, so nice to see you again. Like thank you for the dance. I'm just like, I don't remember you. Like, but that's a good thing though. Like we're even if you're introverted, we're social creatures, and I think the community part is so like underappreciated, and I think that's what most people struggle with. Because if it wasn't for the community, I don't think we'd ever do it. If you just went to the studio and it was just you and the directors or something, it'd be kind of weird, right? Instead of
It wouldn't be as
it wouldn't be weird, but it'd just be different than
It
if
would,
like
yeah.
there was a group of people that you're training with and getting to know.
yeah, it wouldn't be as attractive to do. Yeah, and you wouldn't be making half the memories you make, especially when you get to like when you're on the team. It's cool when you get to travel with them and stuff. You just make memories, you know. You just make good memories. Yeah.
Yeah, you meet people all from all over the world and all that. That's crazy.
No, that's the crazy part too. Yeah, you get to meet people from all over the world. Like SF had people from Korea and Europe and Scotland and stuff like that. So it's like just a bunch of different faces. And you don't even gotta speak the same language again. You don't even gotta be able to communicate vocally. Just hey, let's just dance.
Right. That's perfect for introverts. For the introverts out there, you just dance and be like, that's the extent of our communication. Like, you do the basic, don't talk to me.
You don't even gotta talk. Just stick your hand out. Do you want that?
Don't even ask.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But it works. You kind of have. If you don't speak the same language, you kind of like
Doing that, David Buzzers? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like locally, don't do that. You're gonna be weird. Maybe,
Do you know who I am?
People talk.
Have you seen my performances?
People talk, you know. People talk, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Do you guys have any goals with dancing? Like, what do you guys want out of it?
You can go. You wanna go?
Ooh, yeah,
You wanna go?
that's good.
Yeah, sure. Well, like I said earlier, like I started dancing just purely out of being competitive. I think I started liking it like in middle school because I watched Dance Moms and I was like, man, I'm like not that good at things like that. You know, I'm not like good at something. I want to be good at something. Like I want to specialize in a way. And so even now, that kind of like competitiveness, I'm not as competitive, but it's just that like it always drives me to want to be good and to want to get better. And when I see something where it's like, I have no idea how to do that, I want to learn it. And that's just kind of it. Like as long as I am able to move, I'd like to. Because I'm a psychology major. And so, you know, we always talk about like developmental over a lifetime, what happens with your mind and your body. And so it's just like, you know, I'm not always going to have the retention to be able to memorize everything like this. I'm not always going to be able to have the mobility. So I want to maximize the use of what I have in the years that I have it. So that's kind of my thing. It's just like I want to live as full a life as possible. And since dancing is held like a really important place in my heart, that's how I'm choosing to sort of maximize my life during these years. So.
Do you want to compete like in salsa or bachata?
Like compete?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to grow out of the competitiveness because I don't know. I can get mean and I don't like being mean. So as of right now, I'm like it's not like a priority of mine. But if I ever got to a point where it's just like, oh, I could like make money off of this or something, or like, oh, it'd be really cool to like win an award once. Like I wouldn't mind like trying, you know, might as well try unless you really think you'll hate it kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, for me, goals-wise, I kind of, when I first started, I had the goals of I just want to learn how to social dance, make friends, and have fun. I kind of already crossed those off. So once I crossed those off, I was like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing, right? But by the time that happened, it kind of just grows on you in the sense that it's like, now I'm at the point where I just want to make it last as long as possible, you know? Just keep...
You were on the project team for a little bit, right?
Yeah, for a little bit, and I was going to talk about that a little bit too. No, you're fine. But thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I was on the... So, yeah, I'll get to that part. But, like, as far as goals go now, it's something more along the lines of I just want to make it last as long as possible. You know, it's something that I want to always have around, you know, so I could stay in touch with friends and make memories. It's a good outlet. It's healthy for you. And then there's the other aspects of it of maybe you want to become a professional or be a teacher or travel to do it, et cetera, or be competitively doing it. And those are all things that, well, if the time comes, great, great, sure, why not? And yeah, I was in the project team for a bit, and it was more of a trial for me. It was more is the time right for me to do it? And sometimes it just isn't, with things going on in your own life. Sometimes the opportunity comes at the wrong time, and that's why I want to keep it around as long as possible. So maybe a year or 2 or 3, even a decade down the line, there's 35, 40 plus year old people still killing it out there. Like, I don't like killing it, like 40, 50 plus year olds still doing it professionally, performing worldwide, traveling. They're still killing it out there. So it's not something that I see short term wise. It's something that I always want to have available. It's like,
I want to take your time with it then.
yeah, I want to enjoy it, man. I want to enjoy it, especially because, again, COVID's robbed like 2-3 years, I feel, from me. It's like I just make memories and have a good time, make friends. That's like the biggest part for me is if I'm not having a good time or if it's too conflicting with personal life, then it becomes more of like, okay, maybe I can't do it as much, maybe I don't want to be here, but yeah, like the whole project thing, it was a privilege and an honor because those QC project team, the directors, they're all amazing dancers. No one in the state, they're the best in the state for sure, and probably some of the best on the West Coast over here. Like, to be honest, I feel like they really are. Like, no one, I don't think there's that many people who are gonna out train those guys because they're professional athletes. If we're being honest, they sleep, eat all day. They sleep, eat, and dance all day long. That's what they do.
All like regular jobs.
And they have
Like
regular jobs,
admirable.
but that's their whole life. That's their whole life. Like, and nothing wrong with that. If it's for you, cool. If the time is good for you, fantastic. But sometimes the cards aren't in the hand. It was worth a shot. I really did enjoy it. Maybe next year if I could figure out more my personal life, get my shit together in other aspects, get my shit together in personal life. It'll be more doable. But again, for me, it's just long term. I want to make it last as long as possible. Because it's sad to say, sometimes all good things come to an end, and sometimes they do. Sometimes you might have to move to a different state, and then, say goodbye to the team or something. There's been a couple of people who've had to move states in the team, and they've been with us for years, since the beginning. So yeah, just try to make it last as long as possible. Because it's a good hobby to have. Dancing is great. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Like their short stint in the project team, was there anything other than admiring the work ethic and the dedication that you see from the directors? Is there anything else you learned from them that you're like, damn, like there's a side that like it just added like depth to like
the amount
dance?
The amount you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
The amount you have to sacrifice. Again, going back to the level of seriousness. These are people who are trying to do it professionally, so they take it very serious. It's still in a sense their own community, but at the end, when you're trying to pursue them professionally, it's also business. So it's like you can't take things personally. It's at the end of the day, it's their lifestyle, it's their future profession that could potentially, pay their bills and do it for a long time. So the amount of sacrifice and the level of seriousness stuck out a lot because you don't play games in that realm. They don't play games.
It's like almost like life.
It's like NBA type of shit. It's like professional. You're a professional level at that point. Yeah, and to get into it, you gotta like sacrifice a lot. You gotta sacrifice sleep, your social life. Sometimes you can't. If you want to go out of town that weekend, but you got to train, you're not going out of town that weekend. Like you can't be doing whatever you want. You have to give up a lot. So it's a huge sacrifice, which is why very admirable of them to do. And that's with anything though. That's with a lot, like not just dancing, but that's like if you're pursuing something professionally, you're gonna night and day. You're gonna be pursuing it as hard as you can. Why wouldn't you, right? So, yeah, the amount they sacrifice, it's very admirable. Yeah, nothing but respect to those people. Yeah, amazing.
That's super cool to hear because I know I've only heard stories where I just no, when you're competing, it's just like the gloves are off and it's. I mean, obviously there's a passion for it, but like the fun goes away in sense like you're doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? So I understand that sense, the competitive side. That sense, I've never pursued something that intently, but I can appreciate it like from an outside point of view looking in.
Right. Well,
so I was just always curious.
Yeah, and it's not like I wouldn't say the fun maybe goes away depending on the person, right? But these are people who they love that shit. You know, they love it. This is why they do. That's their bread and butter, bro. They love being in that intense environment, so it satisfies their needs, and they enjoy it. I don't know if fun. They probably, of course, they still have fun here and there, but when it's again like the gloves come off at times, like you have to get down to business, man, or else you're gonna look bad on stage. It's gonna show. It's gonna show. It always shows. Nothing is hidden on stage unless you're on the back. And even then, like people are watching, dude. So it's like there's no, it's something you just gotta take serious.
Yeah, that's one thing I do admire though, just the competitive side because. I don't know. Like I think in any endeavor, if you go at the highest level and perform in any field, doesn't have to be dance. Like I'm sure it could be perceived as like toxic or whatever, but that's why like people are the best. So like to be like at the top 90% or whatever, it's just you have to sacrifice your whole life pretty much. Yeah, and you're not gonna be like in your best state of mind. You're not gonna be the nicest. Like you're stressed out. Your relationships are probably gonna go to shit. It's just, but that's why I appreciate when I see those performances. I'm like, how long did it take, or what did they have to go through? Like, what did you have to give up? What did you have to bleed through to like get to that point?
They did hours and hours of perfecting it.
Suffering,
perfecting it. Yeah.
So I think there's a time and place for all of that. But overall, I think dance is just beautiful. And even if you're just casual at it, there's so much to appreciate.
Right. Yeah. You're casual, even if you're doing it, you know, you're still gonna have that community, those friends. You know, you get your outlet. You know, so that's the cool thing about the dance community. There's something for everybody to get out of. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super diverse, and I feel like you just get something out of it. I look back and. These last couple months, like training for the first time, dancing for the first time, performing, like, I feel like it just made me.
Yeah, you changed. I guarantee you changed.
Person. Yeah, you changed. I can do anything now. Or even not at like a high level, but I'm not afraid to try something
new.
And fail.
Something new, right?
Yeah. Because I remember Eddie saying like, how many people actually step on stage and actually like do, even if it's like a couple 8 counts, like how many
it's hard, dude.
Statistically,
like you're shaking in your freaking pants, dude. You're like,
even though like it was like a beginner, not to like downplay like beginner choreo, it's like it's still choreo, and like getting on stage is terrifying, right? Especially for the first time. So just finishing the first performance, I'm like, I'm the shit. Like I got on stage, like
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So, I love watching all performances, especially at congresses, because you see all different ages, ethnicities, whatever. And even if it's a beginner to advanced choreos, you still took time and effort. You know, you had to grow the courage to get up there and do it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a very brave thing to do, especially seeing kids do it. I'm just like,
those
wow.
Kids.
And they're really good.
There's some crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah, there's some crazy kids out there.
I find it crazy when there's like a couple that I like follow on Instagram that they're like maybe 13 years old, but they're treating it as if they were professionals. Like they have like their whole profile, and they'll go to congresses, and then it's like, bro, like what the heck? You should be worried about your grades, bro. Like what are you doing?
You should be playing Minecraft. What are you doing?
mean, listen, I'm just saying, some middle schoolers think that Minecraft, they got to take it professionally. So.
Yeah, I mean, even
It's just-
Minecraft.
Nothing is fun anymore.
Y'all are ruining it.
Oh, the salsa or bachata?
Oh yeah, that's a
You
good
want-
That's a good question. What do you guys prefer, mambo or bachata?
You answer. You go for ladies first.
She's gonna
I feel
answer
like-
based on what your
No,
answer is.
because we always have like this, not like an argument, but like we always
It
have
is an argument.
sort of like, you know, like you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it depends because there's traditional bachata and then sometimes you add things into it. So it's sort of, what's it called? Like the multiple styles in one dance, fusion. Bachata is very often fusion performatively. And I didn't start with Latin dancing. I started with other types. I started with ballet, actually, and then to contemporary jazz, you know? So that's really my realm. And so I like bachata choreo better because there's more fusion elements and it feels like, okay, I'm getting to show off different skills that I learned in different styles because there are those elements. And in mambo, like, there is still some fusion, but it's not as much like, oh, okay, I already had this skill. It's like I have to learn a bunch of new skills and try to make it look like I know what I'm doing kind of thing. And so like I like learning new things and trying to figure out what I'm doing, but at the same time, I also like to display what I already have and what I'm already very confident in. So right now, I prefer bachata choreo. In terms of like social dancing, I actually like mambo better, but just for choreo's sake.
Like freedom of expression. Or
Yeah,
more
I feel like there's more freedom in that 8 count, you know?
That's cool. What about you, Nando?
Well, definitely mambo for me. It's all that's the whole reason I got into it. That like I saw a video of some kid dancing with her teacher on Facebook, and they were having like a blast. And he's like spinning her around, and she's having a blast, and you know they're just having a good time. And it's like I want to learn how to dance like that. So it was always been mambo. But I love bachata still. I still love bachata. I think it's harder for me to do bachata, again because of the whole being expressive part of things. You have to be that person.
Right.
You have to be that person. Like, oh, look at me. Like,
Yeah, you gotta have
side
that
basic.
sauce.
Side basic. You know. I feel like you have to be that person, bro. Like, you know, you have. I feel
Write
like
that down.
you have to. I feel like it's just it correlates with the type of person you are. And for me, mambo has just always been. It's always been okay. I have to earn it. I have to earn it, or else I can't express myself.
Right.
You know, I have to.
Structured or something.
The structure for me, it's the structure, right? It's always been that. All right, it's gonna take me a couple weeks to learn this, maybe sometimes a couple months, but it's gonna feel so good once I get it down, you know. And it feels bachata. Yes, it's more express. You could be more expressive, but it could be made just as difficult. You could, and QC has proven that. QC has proven that bachata could be made just as difficult as mambo. But for me, it's just the structure of mambo. It takes a while for you to get to that point of being able to express yourself, because there's still Afro fusion style in mambo, right? But it's just, I mean, all you guys have tried learning mambo versus trying to learn bachata. The one thing you can't disagree with is bachata is more beginner friendly. Is more beginner
threshold
friendly.
to get in is a lot
The
easier.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's right there in your face. And if you can't hear that, good luck. But like with mambo, it's more, it's harder to pick up. It's not as beginner friendly. But I think I've always kind of gravitated towards mambo because of it's more difficult and it's just more satisfying once I do get there. And yeah, I think that's for me. That's always been the case. It's been mambo over bachata. Like if you ask me choose between both, I'm gonna choose mambo every day. Yeah.
You just social dance mambo then? if
No,
you
I'd
choose?
still do bachata, bro. I still kill it in bachata here and there, you know? I don't go to Wednesday classes anymore, but when I was like, I got to a little point where like, okay, it's like, all right, you know, I'm not too bad, not that bad, you know. But mambo's always been like, it brought it out of me, the dancer side, Mambo brought the dancer side out of me. Even now, I still don't feel like a dancer sometimes. And they're like, "Don't you perform and don't you do this?" And stuff. I was like, "Damn, I guess you're right." You know, dancer. I guess, yeah. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but it's like, oh yeah, I feel like a dancer in there. But that's the thing. This just Mambo brought it out of me. Yeah, you have to bring it out of you because there's no bullshitting it. You can't bullshit it. Yeah, you can't bullshit it.
What are you trying to say about bachata? You bullshitting? No, I'm just kidding. No, that's one thing I'll say. Like the expression of bachata having that sauce. I think that's a worthy endeavor too.
Yeah, it is actually true, very true.
Because you can do so much with the basic and look good. And yeah, every time I see Eddie do just the front basic, I'm just like, oh my god, what's he doing? What's he about to do? And it's just literally just the basic. And you can go so deep into it, like you said, and be as complicated or as difficult as you want it to be. But yeah, I never thought about bachata and salsa like that. Yeah, salsa is definitely hard to get into, but it is rewarding. And just being able to, I think the first time to social dance a whole salsa song, I was like, wow, this is cool.
I did 30 crossbody leads, but I did it.
one inside turn. And it was just awesome.
I still love both styles. But if I have to choose between one, it's gonna be mambo. If I could do both right now, great. But it's just too much sometimes. I did it for a good year, and I think that's the only reason I got decent enough to feel confident. But that whole year was like
you dedicated everything.
I did dedicate a good amount because it was like 4 days a week type of deal. And
yeah, if you weren't up to snuff, then you'd probably practice outside class. Well, that's what I did personally. I realized, wow, I have no life. But it was rewarding for the time being. Right now I wouldn't do it again, but no, it's.
I think when you start out, it's worth it. I don't know, especially
just diving.
When you just go real into it, it's just because I know right now there's some people that are just starting out and they're doing 6 days a week, with QC, whereas they just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, I know, bro. Yeah. But I think you get the most out of it because you just bombarded with a bunch of knowledge, and then by the time that year ends, you're just way more advanced than a beginner who would just
Yeah,
exactly.
No, 100%. Yeah. The hard work is always going to show. Yeah, the hours you put in is always going to show. Yeah, that's always show.
What will get you to social dance more?
I
need you social dancing more, bro.
Not working as much.
Not working.
Not having a job. Not having a job
for real.
Yeah, man. Social dancing, it's hard to get out there when you're just done with life. It's Friday night.
Thank you.
It's Friday night. You work 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
You're not going out.
You're like, oh, just go, dude. Just force yourself to go. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. You have a drink. You see your good friends here and there. And then sometimes I should have stayed home.
Dude, I
should have stayed home and watched anime or played.
First year with Jose,
he's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, we would go out every single day, and I would work damn near 60 hours at the time.
That's insane, dude.
And then taking both classes, and he's like, "Will, where are you? I'm at the social." I literally go home let me go change, and I have to power nap to muster up the energy to drive to the social.
Dude, I've been napping in my car, bro.
We're animals, dude.
I still haven't been able to fix my sleeping habit after that whole.
It
completely ruined my sleeping pattern, dude.
I can stay up to 4, but I can't wake up past 9 anymore. It's permanently screwed from the socials, the congresses. My circadian rhythm is all out of whack, but.
That's the sacrifice.
I fall asleep at 11:30.
I know, this freaking newborn just crashes out, dude.
It's something that everybody does. Anywhere. It's crazy to think that everybody that goes social dancing, goes to classes, has a job. All of us are doing the exact same thing. And it's nobody's talking about it.
You're an engineer? What? It's are you a nurse? You're a nurse?
Dude, I had no idea that Jenna was a professor at my school. I was like,
what?
Yeah.
Did you do ASU?
Yeah. I was like,
what?
And she's doing 4 days a week, dude.
That's crazy.
And I didn't know Jairo was a professor either, bro.
Yeah, dude, and I think Love and I talked about it, and I was like, dude, there's a lot of successful and smart people. And he said something we're bums. We work regular jobs. Everyone's they're saving the whales and they're doctors. I'm I just work a 9 to 5, dude, but Okay, like, yeah, those conversations after a social are so funny. And people would talk about, like, saving the planet or something. I'm just like, yeah, dude. I paid my electric bill the other day on time. I was like, yes.
Respectable.
I know. I'm like all proud of myself. But, yeah, no, you meet all sorts of people. And that's the cool thing. Like, people come and go. And, like, so far, I haven't met anyone that, like, regretted ever, like, even being exposed to the scene. It's just, I think it's very unique to other niches. Like, you can meet complete strangers and, like, just connect. Like, even you don't even have to dance with them, but just being around the social, you can be way more, I feel like, more comfortable and intimate than, I don't know, like, going to a hiking group or working out or whatever, you know? You meet people in passing from work or school,
Facebook clubs.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'd end up missing. I'm, like, very, like, paranoid of the internet and everything.
Yeah, it's a social setting.
I know. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't want to end up missing or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, with dance, you can just pop in and out and just dance and leave. And
you show up for like 30 minutes. And
yeah, and then just leave and it's whatever.
The music's trash.
Yeah. For real.
Too much central.
Too much central. Why am I listening to Kendrick right now?
Kendrick bachata cover.
Bro, I swear to God. That's the only beef I got with bachata, bro. I should not be listening to Kendrick while trying to do it.
There's a Kendrick song?
There's been so many covers, bro. Like not just Kendrick, like a couple other songs too. I'm like,
yeah, like the Vegas Congress, I remember Bhavna, we got one dance in and they played like the Super Mario song.
Oh my God.
What?
At the bachata room, and I was like talking to Bhavna, like, I swear I watched this movie, like, it's from Super Mario, huh? She's like, yeah, I think it is. I'm just like, dude, this DJ, I know it's like late at night, but come on, dude, like, you just be playing whatever you want. This would not stand in the salsa room.
That's not true. There's a mambo Mario piece, isn't there?
I haven't heard it.
It sounds pretty good though. No, but this was the Peaches song. Like,
oh yeah, the Peaches bachata song.
Yeah, it was in the Super Mario theme or whatever.
Like, please, can we stop and come back to it?
For real, yeah.
Just let it pause.
For real.
What's something you want to see more of?
I think what you guys are doing is what is kind of what I had in mind. Not like podcasting, but like just sharing the knowledge of etiquette. You know, I've seen some of you guys' posts like social etiquette, how to ask a follow to dance, or like how to reject the lead. like hidden knowledge out to sea. You know, like just make it more beginner friendly. Like having people out there that can like help you out. Like somebody to ask. Because again, like when I started, who are you gonna ask, bro? Like nobody, right? But like you have pages like this, podcasts like this. Maybe people can like more knowledge, not just dancing knowledge, right? But it's like,
sorry, I just thought of like the Ghostbusters. Seems like, who are you gonna call?
The Sauceros, yeah. So I think you guys are doing. You guys are doing. Shout out to you guys. You guys are doing pretty cool stuff because, for somewhere to like ask questions. Like, how should I dress? That's
a valid question.
Like, how should I dress? Or like, what should I wear? Like, oh, is it really that intimidating? Or it's like, oh, do you guys know anybody can, stuff like that. Just more outside knowledge that's not just related to dancing wise, but like the things that are around it.
Like the social dynamic.
The social dynamic.
Yeah.
The way congresses work, like all that it's so like, Congress versus social dancing, local versus social dancing international, like all of that has like it's so
stuff
different.
Like that. Yeah, that's what I think would be really cool to see more of. Yeah. So shout out to you guys. It's dope.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Questions for y'all. Have you guys had any clout like outside of it?
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
It's just me because
it's like, are you the guy from the Sauceros?
That's fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, because these guys will be working. I'll be at the socials. I'm like, yeah, I'm famous now.
I'm famous, guys.
I'm just basking in the glory, and like, that's why I think I'm a low key like fake introvert, because like I get a hint of like.
It's cool.
Like local notoriety. Like one person, like, I saw your reel. I'm like, oh my God, I need security. Like, I'm too famous.
3 feet
It just
away,
goes
man.
up to like my head just like expands. I'm like, fuck, dude. I am like an artist now.
I mean, what's
like,
that? Yeah, besides like, what other changes have you guys?
No, it's been
It's just love, man. Like
Yeah.
like I told
That's
Jose,
good. That's how you guys know you're doing it right.
we went to one of my first dances at Vegas. I ran into this one guy. Shout out to Jules. He's from San Diego, and he just like I approached him. I'm like, I've seen you around. I've seen your reels, and he's like, dude, I saw your page. Like, I love every single reel you're doing. Like, I love everything you're doing. That he's just telling me like, oh, it's super important for the community to have like a page where like people can just go to and like just be introduced to a more beginner friendly, just I don't know, like guideline of like just getting introduced to the scene. So like that was like me personally like my first big like confirmation of like, okay, like this is
Doing something right.
something's right, you know. Because before we always wanted to do this, but it's just like we had the conviction, we have it, we're doing it now, but it's just like once we started hearing it from other people, it was like, okay, like
Let's do it.
yeah, especially people like in the scene giving us that validation. I think that gave me personally a lot of drive or motivation to like keep going.
That's cool content. Like when I actually get on Instagram or social media, I'll see some reels or some other interviews, podcasts, my bad, podcasts that you guys do with like people from around the world. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, for me, it's been like I've been going like even like last week, I just had somebody hit like I danced with them, and later on they're like, hey, like I watched your page, I really like what you're doing, and I think and that's really cool. Just meeting people. It's like strangers come up to me like, yo, like I've seen your page, like keep doing it, I love what you're doing. So that's cool, and I think the best part for me has been just like being able to like this is what I wanted. I've been wanting this, but like talk to people, you know, just talk to people and talk about like like our love for dance and how it's helped us, and like and see and even another way to connect with people, you know. Have you?
Yeah, I
experienced
mean,
any?
I think for me it's weird because like I don't get a lot of clout because I haven't really done the reels. I just kind of like more on the background then, like, and I kind of like it like that. I like like people not knowing that like that I am, not that I'm not, like I like being involved, but I like that people don't know, you know. And it's kind of nice, but you know, the few people that will listen to the podcast and I'll be like, oh, like you have the podcast, and it's like it's really cool because they'll like mention it to me. And it's like, oh, like I like asking them like what they like about it or what is it that they find interesting, and in a way that kind of helps me to kind of like know how to format, you know, the podcast or how we want to like go about doing things. And I mean, kind of like what Jose was saying, like my personally for me, like my goal for this was to just be able to Google people. And it sounds stupid, but it's like I always wanted to be able to Google like the people that I was dancing with. So like for example, Ed, Lawrence, even like David, Olarte, like all those people that are here in the Phoenix area, right? Like Googling them and just knowing what the hell they're about. And if you Google them right now, like even to this day, like there's not a lot besides their Instagram page. Right. And it's like all their Instagram page is just them dancing. Yeah. But it doesn't really tell me like, oh, who the hell are they? And then that was my biggest thing. It's like I wanted to start doing that. And even like local people, like a lot of times you go to like social dancing and you'll see, you know, Will, or you'll see Jose, or like you'll see people like you, and it's like you don't know who they are, but you want to get to know them. And if you have a platform where you're able to, you know, talk to them or have people that are asking the questions that you are thinking, I think that that's really cool. So I don't know, what was it, Saltandi? Ross and Jahira did a podcast with us, and I thought it was so cool because now like you can Google them, and like if you Google them, a link that could pop up is like their YouTube podcast. And so I think it's cool that they, you know, if somebody wants to take classes with them, they can now see who Ross and Jahira is, who they are besides them just, oh, they're like really cool urban kids dancers. There's more to them than just dance. Yeah. So I don't know. That was always my thought process of like why I wanted to do this and why I think this is really important.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Sorry.
I saw a couple bits of that podcast with Ross and Jahira, and that's cool to see because when I first started dancing, they were always in the scene. So yeah, because they branched off in their own way. It's really cool. They've been successful.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah. So now for like the future, once you like become pros and everything.
Yeah, you'll remember us. You'll be at, what was it, the first 20 episodes, you were a part of it.
That's
And
dope,
like,
that's dope.
well, we need like, you know, when you're
Yeah.
famous, you're making
We need
money,
the
we need a
window
place to
new. Brand
stay.
new.
Like, hey, remember that one time years ago,
Oh,
we
yeah,
recorded a
that's-
podcast?
yeah, man.
Can I sleep on your couch?
Go look up Fernando and Teja, and then Espinosa. I don't know if you guys are going
Yeah, it's
over
my
there.
first podcast, so this is cool too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool. And another thing is like, even though the scene's very like niche and like tight knit, it's not very organized.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's for the taking.
It's growing. Yeah, I mean it is for the taking if you want to see it that way too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very unorganized. And just yesterday I went to Lawrence's social. I swear, like 80% of the people there were new. Like they could not dance for
wanted
shit.
to go, bro.
In a good way. In a good way. Like it's always good
Yeah.
meeting new people
New
and having
faces.
new, fresh blood. Like go into the scene and like be enthusiastic and want to learn how to dance. But yeah, I think the scene's growing and more new people are coming in because, yeah, because we talked to Denny where it's like some scenes like they just like come and go because of like the pros or the artists like end up like traveling or whatever and like the scene dies out in some areas and that would suck if that happened here.
I find it really hard to see that happening here. It's just there's too many big names already
Yeah.
in the state.
A lot of
And-
key players. I feel
And not
like.
only just big names, but people who are always teaching that maybe aren't as popular, but there's always somebody teaching somewhere.
Like ASU, I think that's big.
Yeah, yeah. You see
That's
it,
where I
like-
came from, you know?
Oh yes.
Yeah, no, ASU it's definitely growing. Like, I wasn't doing it a couple of years ago because wasn't there, but like I heard that since just like 3 or 4 years ago, like the salsa, even like the salsa 1 class has gone from like having like 15 people, maybe 16, to having like 40. And right now I'm in a class
Filling
with
up the
like
class.
literally like 44 people in a room.
That's
And
Oh,
so,
you're taking classes over there?
yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
just the
Like Salsa
classes.
3?
Like there's David's
Salsa
ASU
3,
class
yeah.
versus his company. So
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get them on. Hopefully
we
we'll
do.
get them on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys gotta get
know.
everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna get everybody.
Yeah, that's the goal to have
many-
everybody on.
You guys ain't gonna run out of people anytime soon. That's
No, that's
Dude, we're interviewing anyone. We're interviewing
everybody.
all Antonio's siblings. we're interviewing his cat next
a
week.
career day.
Bring all your cast. We're gonna interview them.
Oh my god,
We're
dude.
gonna like
Putting
get to
all my
know-
shit
we're gonna
out there,
highlight
bro.
everybody.
All right,
Yeah.
we gotta get you guys out of here though.
Yeah,
so.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's
Thank
see.
you
I'll just
guys.
literally
This was
Google.
awesome experience.
Appreciate you guys.
No,
Privilege
thank
and
you for
honor.
coming.
Dope.
You're like just for context, we didn't say it, but like Fernando's like the best dancer on the team. Best lead. I think so.
he's like,
I know my basics.
On the open
seriously-
level. I don't even know how
I
this
know my
works.
basics. That's all there's to it.
Really?
Bro, no, bro, you are one of like I think you're probably.
Let's rank them.
All right, let's go.
Let's leave. Cut this out.
top 5 dancers. Sheesh.
No, yeah.
yeah.
No,
Well,
you
that-
are an amazing dancer.
That
though.
marks it, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you
Yeah.
on the next one.
Thank you.